All right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power, and that wasn't expected at all. What a way to start the day. A massive bodybuilding announcement coming today in the form of the official 2021 Arnold Classic competitor list. We've already got the list. So I guess it makes sense because technically you don't have to qualify for the Arnold Classic, and the Arnold Classic is typically an invitation-only competition, so I guess it would make sense that they would already know the competitors because they've probably invited everybody that they wanted to compete already. So your full 2021 Arnold Classic competitor list for men's open bodybuilding. Lionel Bayecki, there's a surprise. William Bonac, there's another surprise. A constant top Olympian, sometimes top 3, sometimes top 6. And of course, William is a former Arnold Classic champion. Max Charles, Sung Chol Lee, Muhammad El Aman, Steve Kuklo finally making his return to the pro bodybuilding stage. We haven't seen Steve compete in quite a while now, I guess since last year's Arnold Classic in March. Cedric McMillan making his return to the stage after that hand injury that he had last year, which kept him out of the Olympia. And of course, Cedric McMillan, also a former Arnold Classic champion. You've also got Hassan Mustafa, who is still trying to qualify for the 2021 Mr. Olympia. I'm assuming he's going to be competing in other shows besides the Arnold, before the Arnold, because the Arnold is past the cutoff date. Of course, you got Sergio Oliva Jr., Justin Rodriguez, your Indy Pro champion, New York Pro runner-up, Ian Vier, and of course, Akeem Williams. So what I thought would be cool is let's go ahead and compare that list side by side with the current 2021 Olympia qualified competitors list and see who's not doing both and who is, which I thought the main reason why the Arnold would be in such close proximity to the Olympia was that they would expect a lot of the top Olympia guys, specifically the qualified guys, to just go ahead and hop on over to the Arnold Classic. So James Hollingshead, Regan Grimes, Big Ramy, Brandon Curry, Phil Heath, Hadi Chupin, all of those names that I just read are not crossing over to the Arnold Classic. William Bonac, Justin Rodriguez, those are the only two names from this qualified list that are jumping over to the Arnold Classic. These are guys that are currently qualified. You've also got Nick Walker and Patrick Moore, neither of whom have said they are planning on doing the Arnold Classic. Now, what I don't know is because this year there's a little bit of extraordinary circumstances around the Arnold. It got pushed back. They're only doing the show. They're not doing the expo. They're not doing any of the extra stuff with the Arnold Sports Festival, just the IFBB portion of the show. So with these extraordinary circumstances, typically, like I said, the Arnold is usually invitation only. But I don't know if this year they'll make an exception if we start to see more guys that are prepping for the Olympia and qualified for the Olympia say, okay, I want to go ahead and jump over to the Arnold Classic. Now, another possibility is that the Arnold Classic sent out an invitation to everybody, and these are just the people that got back to them. Maybe they invited everybody that's on that list for the Olympia. And maybe they just haven't heard back from everybody, and this is a tentative list because more names could be added as people start to respond and figure out what they're going to do for the Arnold Classic. I thought this was a pretty early announcement, which is cool. Typically, I want to say it gets announced in January or late December prior to the March Arnold Classic, so just 2 months before. So I feel like this is a little bit earlier than usual, so maybe we're going to see some more names added. So that was pretty cool. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. What names do you want to see added to this men's open bodybuilding list? Do you want to see Phil Heath here? Do you want to see Big Ramy here? Do you want to see some of these top names? Hadi Chupin, Brandon Curry, who is a former Arnold Classic champion, Regan Grimes, who I don't even know if Regan has ever done the Arnold Classic US. I can't think of a time where he did. Maybe he has, but I can't picture it. James Hollingshead. I want to see these guys compete. Patrick Moore, Nick Walker. I understand that they all want to peak for the Olympia, and a lot of these guys are hoping for a top 10 placing, and they don't want to mess that up with the Arnold Classic. I completely get that. I completely understand that. But it's the Arnold Classic. And don't get me wrong, this is already a very stacked and competitive lineup for the Arnold, so I'm actually pretty impressed that they were able to put together this competitive of a lineup. And I mean, like I said, you got William Bonac in there, Akeem Williams in there. Those are two first call-out guys for the Olympia. And I'm sure a lot of people are relieved to see at least one name is not on the list. Kai Green's name is not on the list. But like I said, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. What names would you like to see added to this list, and do you think they will be adding any or not? Now, next up in the news, the Arnold Classic Physique 2021 competitor list just came out, and you've got some really good bodybuilders in this lineup. Alex Combronero, DeAndre Campbell, Jarek Crew, Logan Franklin, Brian Jones. We've got a lot of the top 6 in this lineup, actually, from the Olympia. A lot of the top 10, really. So this is going to be a stacked Arnold Classic and Classic Physique. So Brian Jones, Fabian Meyer, Courage Opara, Terrence Ruffin, Ruff Diesel, your runner-up from the 2020 Mr. Olympia in Classic Physique, second to only Chris Bumstead. Tony Tavares and Danny Unin. So a very competitive Arnold Classic Physique lineup. Again, I'm not sure if there will be names added or not to what they already have. I'm assuming, like I said, as we get closer to the Olympia, I am assuming, let me put these lists up side by side for you guys. I am assuming that if more guys that are already qualified for the Olympia volunteer to do the Arnold Classic, I'm assuming there would be no issue for them to get that invitation and compete. I'm assuming that wouldn't be something that's off the table. And I'm assuming that would be something completely within the realm of possibility. So like I said, let me know in the comment section, what guys do you want to see do the Arnold Classic? What names do you want to see added to this list? Let them know on social media if you want to see one of these guys do the Arnold Classic that are doing the Olympia, or maybe guys that aren't even doing the Olympia that aren't doing the Arnold Classic. Let them know on social media, because I do want to see this Arnold be very competitive. We got to be appreciative here that Arnold actually came back to make this show happen this year against the odds. And even though he's not doing the expo, he's not doing the sports festival, he wanted to make sure that he did not miss a year in putting on the bodybuilding show. And right after this, in March, right in the beginning of 2022, we are apparently going to have the Arnold Classic back in full force, the expo, the sports festival, the competitions, all of them. So I think we should be a little bit appreciative that Arnold made this happen for us. If you're a fan of the Arnold Classic, Arnold made sure that he did not miss a year as far as giving us the show that we enjoy. So thank you, Arnold. Thank you for the list. Now we got something to look forward to coming up in September. As always, let me know in the comment section what you think. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. A thumbs up always helps out a lot. Try to get to 10,000 likes on this video. Subscribe if you have not subscribed already. As always, I love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Nick Strength and Power signing out.